Hey guys, it's Simeon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 30th of April 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smack. Excuse me, had a burp right in the middle of that. Friday Night Smackdown. And I thoroughly enjoyed this episode of Friday Night Smackdown. I thought this was a good show with just an amazing main event. And I'm going to say it right now. I didn't think the Universal title match at WrestleMania was going to get topped and could have been any better. But this match tonight with just Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, I felt may have actually been better than the triple threat with Edge. And nothing against Edge. I'm not saying Edge is bad and Edge was horrible in that match or anything. But as a singles match, like this singles match, I felt was actually a little better than freaking the triple threat at WrestleMania. But that's my opinion. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions as well. You can give me those by texting into 510-906-1341. But if you are watching here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, you can help us out a couple of different ways, either by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel here on Twitch one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tier 1 subscription, or if you say, hey, I don't got any extra money, but I do pay Amazon for Amazon Prime, well, you got Prime Gaming. With Prime Gaming, you get a multitude of different things, including one free subscription to any, punch the microphone there, any Twitch channel that you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and we'd greatly appreciate it if you use that one subscription on us here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. On the flip side, flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you can help us out a couple of different ways as well. If you are in the live chat, then you can help us out, well, with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Also, you can subscribe to the channel as a channel member. All you got to do is hit where it says join down below next to where it says subscribe. As a channel member, you get early access to podcasts, non-news videos, exclusive news before it goes up on YouTube and our website, and even just exclusive member-only, Patreon-only streams like Nick and I did today, where we watched Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobayashi with you guys. Also, you get a badge that shows you're a channel member, and you get to use cool emojis. But if you want to support us directly and still get all those same perks, you can head over to patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. No, patreon.com/PW Unlimited to support us as well. But we've got a packed SmackDown to talk about. I felt like this show was just a great show. And let's get the polls going before we start talking. Start a new poll. What do you think of tonight's SmackDown as we let a few more of you guys jump into the live chat? All right, the poll is live on Twitch. Let's throw it up on YouTube. Was all right. And I didn't take it. Come on. The poll is live on Twitch as well. Let me check one thing really fast. All right. So regarding tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, the show opened up. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee discussing the Universal title match between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. They pushed it as one of the biggest and greatest matches to ever happen on SmackDown, even before it even happened. Bianca Belair came out to open up the show. SmackDown Women's Champion was about to introduce her husband and Angelo Dawkins when she was interrupted after. Now this is weird. She's out here cutting this promo. Now they're just trying to add EST to anything. I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was saying all these different things about SmackDown being like the best show. but it was like, I can't remember what it was now, but she said like 4 things, the S, the S, S, all about SmackDown or whatever. And they piped in EST chants, so you hear EST, EST, EST. And fucking Pat McAfee goes, oh, this crowd is giving Bianca Belair. He says something like, oh, this crowd really loves Bianca Belair. I'm like, what? Or these fans. I'm like, what are you talking about? Anyways. So she goes to introduce the Street Profits when she's cut off by the Dirty Dogs, Ziggler and Rude. And at first the music hits and I go, who the heck's coming out? And then it pans and shows the graphics on the screen. I go, oh yeah, they got new music. Duh. I honestly forgot. The Street Profits interrupted them pretty quickly after they said it was their show. Street Profits couldn't say much before, well, Bayley would make her way out. Street Profits jumped into the ring and grabbed the mic from Belair. Oh, no, Bayley did. Never mind. Bayley jumped in there and grabbed the mic from Belair. She just started cackling, kind of. It's like, ha! Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! And then she was laid out by Bianca Belair. Then we get the big announcement that next week on Friday Night Smackdown, we're getting Retro Night, ladies and gentlemen. And you may say, what? Where the heck did this come from? Well, it came from NASCAR. It came from NASCAR. A little backstory. Back in 2015, NASCAR reintroduced the Southern 500, which is a big Memorial Day weekend race at Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. But NASCAR and Darlington Raceway wanted to do something different with this race, the return of the Southern 500, which is a very historic race in NASCAR history. So they said, you know what? Let's give, what's the word I'm looking for? The proper thank you, I guess you could say, to history, to the past. Let's turn the Southern 500, the Darlington race, into a throwback weekend where the drivers and teams create paint schemes that are actually old school paint schemes from drivers back in the day, whether that's 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or even 40 years ago, to pay homage, I guess you could say, tribute those old drivers. Whether it is somebody that maybe recently retired and you're doing one of their old paint schemes, or it's just a driver that meant a lot to you when you were younger, or a driver that meant a lot to the team you're now driving for, you go out and you create a cool paint scheme based off of, if not just straight up copying, one of those old school paint schemes. It's been something that NASCAR's been doing since 2015. The fans have loved it. The drivers have loved it. I mean, the drivers have gotten so into it. Certain guys like Ryan Blaney and Eric Jones and stuff, they go all out and even get like the look of back in the day. They get like the porn stash and the mullet and stuff. It's awesome. Throwback is awesome. And Fox has had the Throwback weekend since then with only the Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, which is NASCAR's second tier, and the Monster Energy Cup Series, which is NASCAR's most elite level, have always had their throwback races on NBC because they have been in the fall. And NBC gets the second half of the season where Fox has the first half of the season. But with all the shifts and changes to the NASCAR schedule this year, the Darlington races got moved to the first half of the season, hence Fox getting all 3 races: the Cup race, the Xfinity race, and the Truck race. So what I was told is Fox said, you know what? If we're doing this full throwback weekend for NASCAR, which hopefully they get into it as much as NBC did, because NBC got into it with throwback graphics, all the commentators and pit reporters and stuff, sideline analysts dressing up like they're from back in the day. Hopefully Fox gets that into it, because Fox is now extending this to other programming, not just NASCAR, as we've seen here with SmackDown. So this is a total Fox call saying, hey, let's do some sort of a throwback weekend. I have no clue what this is going to entail as far as how this is going to be a throwback weekend. I see everybody on Twitter going, oh my God, bring back the fist. Now, I doubt we get anything that extravagant because WWE has the Thunderdome set up. I doubt they're going to pull everything down just for this one SmackDown, just to put it back up. If you know what I'm saying. But that's where this throwback idea did come from. It was a Fox thing that they wanted because it ties into Fox for the first time having the full throwback weekend with NASCAR, and I guess going full on in with it, which is awesome and cool by me. But we're getting that next week. Also, it was announced next week. We fast forward a little bit. Seth Rollins will be going one-on-one with Cesaro. Seth Rollins made the challenge. Cesaro accepted. Not NASCAR, we're talking about NASCAR, but WWE did say, hey, this match is happening. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. So that is the first and only match so far announced for the retro edition of SmackDown next week. Maybe we get a tag title match, since, as we're going to talk about here coming up, Montez Ford did pin, I want to say, Rude. Let me check my notes again. Yeah, it was Bobby Roode. Let's talk about this match. This was a fun opener, mixed tag team match. Bianca Belair and the Street Profits against Bayley, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. The match started during a commercial break. Bayley was firmly in control when we returned, but Belair fought back. Belair rolled out of the ring. All six started brawling yet again, as they did before the break. Ford dropped down to tie his shoelace, and Belair knocked down Bayley. Ford then hit a dive to the floor, wiping out all the heels. The heels regained control, though, and isolated Ford on their side of the ring. Ziggler and Roode caught Ford with a double suplex for a near fall. Ziggler slowed down the pace with a chin lock. Ford fought back, but Ziggler hit a splash in the corner. Ziggler attempted a super kick, but Ford hit a super kick first. Dawkins then got the hot tag and ran wild. He gave Ziggler a super kick and hit a twisting splash on Roode. Dawkins then hit a neck breaker on Roode for a near fall. Belair tagged in and lifted Ziggler up on her shoulders. Bayley cut her off, but Belair hit her with a KOD. The heels fought back, and Roode rolled up Dawkins, tried to pull the tights, but Belair made the save by whipping Roode with the hair. Why is this not a DQ? Why is this not a DQ? I still don't get it after all this time. Dawkins then gave Ford a big spine buster. No, Dawkins gave Roode a big spine buster. Ford got tagged in, hit a great springboard frog splash, and picked up the victory. So right there, Bianca Belair and the Street Profits do come out victorious. In the back, Kayla Braxton interviewed Daniel Bryan. Bryan noted that his career is on the line tonight, but so is Reigns' title. He promised to tap out Roman Reigns in the main event. Bryan said that after his win, he's not going to give a rematch to Roman Reigns. No, he wants to face Cesaro with the title on the line because he feels like Cesaro deserves it. So Seth Rollins then gave his prediction, first saying, I think it's going to be Roman. Then goes, well, I actually have a lot of history with Roman. Maybe Daniel Bryan. And Bryan wants to defend against Cesaro? Well, Cesaro ain't even going to make it past next week. Cesaro, I challenge you to a match next week. They recap Tamina beating Nia Jax. Then in the back, Megan Morant, the new interview girl, interviewed Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Reginald. Baszler noted that the loss was in a singles match, but promised to win tonight. Suddenly, Natalya and Tamina attacked the champions. And then we go into a non-title match with the women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, against Natalya and Tamina. This was a fine match. Tamina attacked Jax as the ring bell went off, and they went wild. She knocked Baszler off the apron and attempted the splash off the top rope. Jax got her knees up. Heels took over. They isolated Tamina on their side of the ring for a while. Tamina did fight back and picked up Jax for a slam, but fell backwards. Baszler tagged in and attacked Tamina's arm. Tamina fought back and slammed down Baszler. Baszler had nobody to tag because Jax rolled to the floor. Natalya then got tagged in and ran wild and hit a release German for a near fall. Tamina tagged back in and climbed to the top rope. Reginald tried to interfere, but Natalya pulled him down. She tried to put him in a sharpshooter, and Baszler locked her in a carefooted clutch. She then threw Natty over the announce table, as remember, Tamina's still up on the top rope. Baszler then attempted a superplex, but Tamina knocked her off. Tamina then hit a not that great looking superfly splash, but in doing so, picked up the victory, pinning Shayna Baszler, one half of the women's tag team champions. So I assume this tag title match is coming soon. Booker T then gave his prediction, picking Roman Reigns to win the main event tonight. After the break, Shinsuke Nakamura gave his thoughts, picking Daniel Bryan. No duh, they're buds. They've been buds for a very long time. We then got another vignette from, as Michael Cole called, the twisted mind of Aleister Black. Black read from The Tales of the Dark Father. He read the second chapter, which was titled Reality. It told the story of people going through life and making all the conventional choices. His father told him truth. He learned that there's something wrong with everyone else. He said he can give you the keys to escape with the choices, but he chooses not to. Very weird. Talks about like being in high school and not having many friends or getting a date to the dance and this and that. Very weird. He's basically talking about like being an outcast in high school. Then recap the feud between Apollo Crews and Big E from WrestleMania and so forth. Megan Morant then interviewed Big E behind the curtain, Vic and Gorilla. Big E says he wants his baby back and he's getting it tonight. He promised to win and become a 3-time Intercontinental Champion. And then for some reason, showed some graphics. It's like, the Intercontinental Champion, and they had like Crews on the screen with the IC title next to him, and it said Apollo Crews, and then all of a sudden it cut, and the IC title still up on the screen, and it shows Commander Aziz, and I'm like, what? Huh? Did I miss something here? What is this for? That's part of their entrance or something? But Big E entered the ring for the match. Like I said, then they showed a series of these little videos and things on the screen. After a break, Big E was still waiting in the ring. They showed a video of the New Day predicting the Universal title match. Basically, Xavier Woods said Daniel Bryan has worked to this moment. He has earned this moment. Roman Reigns just showed up and got handed everything, which was ballsy to say there, bro. Just going to say it. Then, Big E's still out in the ring. We get another recap. Crews and Kevin Owens from last week. Finally, Crews comes out. And this match goes on. Good hard-hitting match. Well, until the finish. He traded waist locks early, but Big E overpowered Crews. Big E then caught Crews in the abdominal stretch, and he followed it up with the back elbow for a near fall. Big E dragged Crews onto the apron and hit a series of forearm shots. He followed this up with the big splash on the apron for a near fall. Crews then fought back and dropped Big E on the top rope. He sent Big E to the floor and hit a moonsault off the apron. Big E then avoided a frog splash and hit a belly-to-belly suplex of his own. He followed this up with a splash for a near fall. 1 second. He's trying to fix something here on the camera. There we go. All right. Big E attempted a big ending, but Crews avoided it and hit a kick to the face. Crews attempted a splash in the corner, but Big E hit the Uranagi for a close near fall. Big E attempted the spear off the apron, but Crews avoided it and hit a Death Valley driver on the apron instead. He followed this up with the frog splash for yet another close near fall. Big E recovered and hit a big ending on Crews. Aziz would then pull Big E out of the ring and cause the DQ finish. After the match, Crews and Aziz beat down Big E until Kevin Owens ran down to make the save. The heels overpowered him, and Big E jumped back in to even the odds. Suddenly, all of a sudden, Sami Zayn come out and give Kevin Owens a haluva kick. The heels work together to beat down Owens and Big E. And as it was mentioned last week and predicted, I really see a fatal four-way match coming up here, maybe at WrestleMania Backlash. You got Kevin Owens, you got Big E, you've got Sami, you've got Crews. Why not? Why not do a fatal four-way match? I think that would be really fun. All these guys would work great together. I say, why not do it? Why not frickin' do it? Going forward, The Miz and Cesaro gave their predictions, whatever. In the back, they showed the Universal Champion Roman Reigns. They recapped the angle between Reigns, Cesaro, and Bryan from last week. And then got Kayla Braxton interviewing Paul Heyman. Heyman said he's sick of hearing Bryan's name. Heyman gave a great interview discussing Bryan's accomplishments while constantly saying yes. Heyman wondered if Bryan can win the title tonight and then said no. We kept Daniel Bryan beating Triple H at WrestleMania 30, then going on to beat Randy Orton and Batista in the main event to become the WWE Champion. Now, more predictions on the main event. Then we go to the main event with like 40 minutes still left in the show, and I go, oh boy howdy. Boy howdy, this match is getting time. And this match got a good amount of time, and I really enjoyed the crap out of it. These two put on just a WrestleMania worthy match. I would say this match right here could main event any WrestleMania any year. I liked it, that match. Amazing storytelling. Oh, and fucking Roman Reigns got new music. Shocker among all shockers. Bryan's in the ring. He's like waiting, hyping himself up, keeping himself loose and warm. He's over there waiting. All of a sudden, here, boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, Roman's getting a special entrance? But then as it played, I go, oh no, fuck. Roman got new music. Holy crap. Anything resembling the Shield, now basically gone. No more nothing Shield. The Shield is no more. Roman lost the vest. Roman lost the music. Roman said, fuck it. No more Shield, nothing. But this match was just phenomenal. Bryan hit a running knee right out of the gates. Reigns recovered and rocked Bryan with her right hand. Bryan fought back and went for a yes lock, but Reigns rolled to the floor, and Bryan continued his attack. He rocked Reigns with a sliding drop kick and followed it up with a dive off the apron. Back from a break, Bryan was firmly in control as he targeted Reigns' arm. Gotta set him up for that yes lock. He followed this up with the running drop kick in the corner. Reigns recovered and rocked Bryan with a clothesline for a near fall. Reigns took over and hit a snap suplex for another 2. Reigns slowed down the pace and applied a chin lock. Bryan fought back and ran up the turnbuckle, but Reigns caught him with a back elbow. Bryan dropped Reigns face first into the second turnbuckle. Bryan attempted a hurricane run off the top rope, but Reigns countered and hit a powerbomb for a close near fall. Back from the break, Reigns beat down Bryan, just pummeled the crap out of him at ringside. He threw Bryan back into the ring for a near fall. Reigns placed Bryan on the top rope, but Bryan slipped out. Looked like he would go for a super kick. Bryan did the whole slide down between the legs thing. Bryan then hit a back suplex off the top rope for a very close near fall. Bryan followed up with some yes kicks, but Reigns avoided the last one and hit a Samoan drop. Reigns then attempted a Superman punch, but Bryan kicked the injured arm. Bryan continued to target the arm and sent Reigns to the floor. Bryan attempted a suicide dive, but Reigns caught him and hit a belly-to-belly suplex. Reigns attempted the spear on the floor, but Bryan moved out of the way. Reigns crashed into the barricade. After another commercial break, Bryan hit a diving headbutt from the top rope for a near fall. Bryan went for the running knee, but Reigns hit him with a Superman punch for a close 2. Reigns then attempted a spear, and Bryan countered into a small package for a near fall. Bryan then hit a running knee for another close near fall, but Reigns got his foot on the bottom rope just barely. Bryan then grabbed Roman by the arms and just kept stomping and stomping him and stomping him and stomping the crap out of him. Reigns was placed into a yes lock, but he countered that and scored a near fall. Reigns then jumped to his feet and hit a spear for a freaking phenomenal near fall, like so close. Bryan couldn't have kicked out any later. Struggled to their feet, both of them, before Reigns locked on a guillotine submission. Bryan broke free, though, and applied a yes lock. Reigns crawled to the ropes, but Bryan pushed back to the middle of the ring. Pat McAfee started to get worried. He's like, oh no, Cole. Roman Reigns is stuck in the middle. How is he going to get out of this or even get to the ropes? Reigns did break free and hit Bryan with a series of hard shots, followed with a powerbomb, a forearm, and another powerbomb. Roman then applied the guillotine yet again, but Bryan fought free. Reigns then switched to the good arm and reapplied the guillotine. Eventually, Bryan would pass out. I got something to say about that. And Reigns would retain the title after the referee ends the match. Now, we've seen a lot of these pass-out submissions over the last year, submission victories in WWE. And typically, when WWE does one of these, you passed out, but lost, because they still want to keep somebody strong. Example, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre lost to Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, but he never got pinned. He never tapped out and submitted. He passed out. And then what happened? He became the number 1 contender and is getting another shot at the title. Now, I'm not saying Bryan's going to stay on SmackDown because of this, because no, stipulation was he's got to leave if he loses. But WWE did something to still keep Bryan looking good in defeat, which has me thinking, oh, is this guy going to Raw? Is something coming soon? I don't know, But that's just my observation based off of things that they've done over the last year in WWE. They've really made this you passed out finish a thing when they want to keep somebody strong. I haven't seen this you passed out finish when someone just loses and then that's it. They just go bye-bye. But then after the match, Roman said, that ain't enough. I'll beat your ass some more. And then went and grabbed 2 chairs. He went to set Daniel Bryan up for a concerto. When out would come Cesaro. Cesaro's music would play, and Cesaro would charge in from behind, attacking Roman Reigns, stopping him from doing what he was doing. He threw Roman to the outside, jumped to the outside, threw off his jacket in a hurry, and ran at Roman with the just most aggressive uppercut that you can hear go. When he hit Roman with it, Roman pops off the barricade, and in comes main event Jey Uso. Jey beat down Cesaro, threw him into the ring, tied him up in the ropes, and said, watch your boy get beat. As Roman hits that concerto on Daniel Bryan, and the show ends with Cesaro having to watch Daniel get beat down, tied up in the ropes, and Roman standing tall with the Universal title. I thought this match was phenomenal. Cesaro coming out still plays up the fact that Cesaro wants, yes, to help Bryan, but also go after Roman in the title. So it all served a multiple, the end here served a multitude of different things. I wholeheartedly assume that Cesaro defeats Seth Rollins next week to move on to WrestleMania Backlash and challenge Roman Reigns for that Universal Championship. But we'll see how it all does go down next week on, well, Throwback Smackdown. But that was Friday Night Smackdown. A freaking great show. A freaking great show. Now, let's see what you guys thought. Remember, if you want to be part of tonight's show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. Before we go to the text, let's check the polls. Got them right here. Woo, boy. Twitter poll, 100% like SmackDown. Not the same over on old YouTube, though. As far as the YouTube poll does go, 76% like SmackDown, 19% thought it was just all right, and 4% did not like the show. Did not like it at all. Going forward, let's check the text messages. Let's see. We got a good number of text messages so far. First says, do you think Daniel Bryan will go to NXT? I would love that. Oh, that'd be amazing. Daniel Bryan versus Karrion Kross. Daniel Bryan versus Finn Balor. Daniel Bryan versus Kyle O'Reilly. Daniel Bryan versus almost anyone on that roster. Gimme D. Bryan versus Johnny Takeover. Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Gargano. Versus tonight's SmackDown was awesome. I see that Italian Tamina becoming known as the Samoan Hart Dynasty. I thought I heard him say that. That's all right. That's all right. Tamina is a diamond in the rough. She's such a beast. They've really been making her look really good. Her splash, now, granted, I think the reason her splash didn't look so good is because Shayna was too close. She didn't really have any room to jump. She kind of had to just fall. So maybe that is the reason why her splash didn't look as good. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Versus, what do you think they do with Daniel now? I mean, either he takes some time off or he goes to Raw. Maybe NXT. I don't know. Versus, is it true Vince really likes Street Profits? I mean, I haven't heard anything contrary to that. I haven't heard any opposite. I would assume Vince really likes them. Versus, who do you think should be new members of the New Japan United Empire? I honestly don't know. I haven't really been following too much New Japan. It's kind of getting stale to me. It's a lot of repetition. Versus, is Rob Gronkowski ever come back to WWE? Not as long as he's still playing football. Versus, I really love Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan's main event. It was entertaining to watch. I thought it was must-see TV. Yes, it was. And it's a shame that WWE didn't build this matchup more throughout the week. It really was. They could have been doing like NXT does with like a prime target to set up this match. More stuff on social media. Fox could have pushed it harder during certain programming. Like, they showed a commercial for this during the NASCAR race last week. But it was more of the same kind of Michael Cole going, Next week on Friday Night Smackdown, Daniel Bryan puts his career on the line when he challenges Roman Reigns for the Universal title. SmackDown on Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. It's the same SmackDown commercial. It didn't have a feel of intensity or this is a big deal type of thing. So I think WWE could have got more out of this show as far as whatever the rating's going to be tomorrow, because they could have plugged this and promoted this way bigger than they did. Merch said, do you think Daniel Bryan is going to the NXT or Raw? I don't know. Too soon to tell. It says, where's Keith Lee? He's dealing with some stuff. That's all I can say. Not 100% sure. I've heard two different things, and because they're kind of different, I'm not even going to try and speculate. There's also says, where's Becky? Becky coming back when she's well and ready. Do you think Aleister Black stays a heel or baby? He's got to be a heel with this gimmick. Versus says, main event was the mash of my night. I love tonight's SmackDown. I'm not going to talk about Tessa Blanchard because I've seen all the rumors today that are uncredited. So I'm not even going to hint at that. Versus, where's our truth? I don't know. Who knows? Versus, Tamina, was that a question? The sultress of savagery? Savagery. That's a hard word to read when you're dyslexic. Do you see her coming into her prime and as a future champion? I can see for sure her and Natty winning them tag titles. She ain't going to win the SmackDown Women's title or singles belt, no. But tag titles, 100%. Can see it happening. First says, do you think they do a four-way? Talked about that earlier for the IC title. And then first says, when do you think Jimmy comes back? Jimmy should have came back already. He's been working out at the PC. I don't know if he's cleared, but it's been 13 months. Get that mofo back. But with that, guys, that's going to do it for tonight's Friday Night Smackdown review. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. I'll remind you guys throughout the week, but next Friday, there won't be a SmackDown review because I can't watch SmackDown. I'll be out of town. Actually going on vacation with a couple of friends next week to LA. So there will not be a SmackDown review next week, but we'll be here for Raw, NXT, and AEW. So don't fret. We got those 3 live streams still taking place next week. But again, no SmackDown review next Friday. Remember to follow us on social media, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and follow us on YouTube, or Twitter, PW Unlimited. Also, remember to follow our website, pwunlimited.co. Turn on them push notifications for your web browser, and if you want to directly support us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, get some cool stuff, early access to content, and more. You can check us out, patreon.com/PW Unlimited. With that, guys, have a great night. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. All right. If you're still